Sheikha Moza, the legitimate ruler of Qatar, is referred to as the world's most elegant woman. She is a style icon, incredibly wealthy and powerful in the Middle East. The stunningly glamorous face conceals a cruel reality, though. Keep watching to learn why the Star of the East, Sheikha Moza, is so harshly criticized in the West, and why there is such suffering behind her opulent lifestyle. Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, who ruled Qatar from 1985 to 2013, is the First Lady of Qatar. Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, the middle son of Moza, has been in charge of the nation ever since. Rumor has it that Sheikha Moza, who holds absolute control over the entire region, actually rules the nation. In addition to being among the most powerful women in the world, Arab ladies are regarded as among the most beautiful. She enjoys fashion and dresses beautifully in creations by renowned designers. Sheikha Moza is an outgoing socialite, in contrast to many other Arab women who live in the shadow of their husbands while donning a black abaya. She performs on important international stages and frequently joins her husband at events. She also flaunts her expensive jewelry and her thin waist in bright, unusual outfits. The sheikh usually dons an elegant turban rather than a hijab. In the fashion industry, each of her publications turns into a major occasion. Sheikha Moza is a symbol of the modern Arab woman who actively participates in public life and transforms it for some people. The sheikh is harshly criticized as the fashionable face of the ultra-conservative government, though. After all, the majority of women in Qatar still face a challenging situation in which they are unable to move without the consent of their guardians. In light of this, Sheikha Moza's shining reputation in Western nations is rife with controversy. So, who is Sheikha Moza really? A powerful woman who controls all of the nation's power, or just a puppet in the service of other men in her family who want to increase Qatar's attractiveness to Western partners? She was born in 1959 in the Qatari town of Al Khor. Her father was a well-known politician and businessman who was detained for speaking out against the government. After serving several years in prison, the entire family was forced to leave the nation and live in exile in Kuwait and Egypt. Moza had a solid education. Although she graduated from Qatar University with a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology, she had always wanted to be a doctor. She then graduated from Hamad bin Khalifa University with a master's degree in Islamic public policy. She also has multiple doctorates, some from American universities. Sheikha continued to pursue her education even after getting married. When she was 18 years old, she married Hamad bin Khalifa Al Thani, a member of the Qatari royal family. It was hardly a romantic match. Most likely both families, especially the Moza family, just got a deal. Imagine that the Qatari royal family's net worth is currently around $335 billion. The Thani family has investments in a number of properties around the world, including the Empire State Building in New York City, Olympic Village, the Shard skyscraper in London, and Harrods department store. The royals have additional stakes in Volkswagen and British Airways. Sheikha Moza's personal wealth is thought to be worth $15 billion. Even though it wasn't a love marriage, she would never look back. She did, after all, become extremely wealthy and powerful because of this relationship. The sheikh, however, had to endure one unpleasant fact throughout the marriage. She had to accept her role as the second wife, and the fact that she would share her husband with another woman. A few years before he met Moza, Sheikh Hamad wed Sheikha Mariam, his first cousin, and the offspring of his paternal uncle. You might speculate that Hamad chose to remarry out of love because he believed his first wife was someone he didn't truly love and had only married for practical reasons. Who knows? But the fact that the Sheikh's first wife gave birth to 8 children suggests that this marriage was a good one. It is unknown why he felt compelled to marry again. Perhaps it was to establish his dominance or to have as many children as possible. By the way, Sheikha Moza gave birth to 7 children, 5 sons and 2 daughters, during this union. Hamad gave birth to 15 children. Despite being the second wife, Moza was able to win her husband's affection despite her position. While his first wife stayed in the background and never left the palace, Moza became more socially active and eventually co-founded and served as chairman of the Qatar Foundation. Sheikha has been given the unofficial title of Qatar's First Lady. When no one even knew what Hamad's first wife looked like, she accompanied him to every event and rose to fame. Sheikha Moza's influence started to become too great. Hamad may have been able to execute a bloodless coup in Qatar in 1995 and remove his father from the position of emir with the help of his wife. Through the production of natural gas, he grew extremely powerful and turned Qatar into the richest nation in the world. Sheikha Moza was well known and frequently made appearances on television. partners, Qatar was represented as a modern nation by an intelligent, fashionable Arab woman. It appeared from the outside that Qatar might develop into a more liberal nation, where women would soon have more freedoms and rights. Nobody, however, was aware of the circumstances surrounding the Moza family, or the position she held within her union. Hamad made the decision to get married for a third time at the time that Moza gave birth to her seventh child, and started to focus more on public affairs. His new spouse was Sheikha Noura, a first cousin once more, and the niece of the Interior Minister Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Thani. Nobody is sure why the no longer young Emir of Qatar, who had 2 wives and 15 children, needed to get married a third time. According to gossip, he chose this method to assert his dominance over Sheikha Moza, who had grown too influential, and to put her in her proper place. We can only imagine the pain the sheikh feels when her husband leaves her alone for his young wife and pursues another woman. How do Arab women feel when their husbands have 2 other wives? Are they jealous or take it easy? She doesn't, however, ever express her true emotions. In public, Moza and her husband appear to be a very content and loving couple. Music, audience applause. This is difficult to comprehend in the Western world. Because it is so hypocritical, Sheikha Moza frequently receives harsh criticism. The sheikh tries to project independence and self-assurance in public while defending the rights of women and kids. She is only one of her autocratic husband's 3 wives, however. Unfortunately, a lot of women in Qatar continue to experience hardship. Qatar still has a guardianship system that discriminates against women, claims Human Rights Watch. All important decisions affecting women's lives are made by men. The consent of a male guardian is required for Qatari women to study, get married, hold down many government jobs, or travel abroad. It will be deemed disobedient behavior on the part of a woman if she leaves the house, or declines physical intimacy with her husband without a valid reason. However, a man in Qatar is permitted to wed 4 women at once without anyone's consent, not even his wife. Therefore, many women are still in a very vulnerable position. Even Sheikha Moza, who is regarded as one of the most powerful women in the world, was unable to object when her husband decided to wed a third time. In any case, Sheikh Hamad's third marriage may have been his most fruitful. 4 sons and 5 daughters, totaling 9 children, were born to his wife. She stays hidden though, and no one is aware of her. Sheikha Moza does, however, accompany her husband to nearly all important events in the West. Sheikha Moza receives a lot of flack for refusing to speak out against what appears to be female oppression. Frequently, the First Lady of Qatar must use delicate, complex language to defend her nation's culture. At a Carnegie Mellon University speech in 2006, she asserted that Islam has always guaranteed the full rights of women, and in Islamic civilizations, women have always played a crucial role. It's crucial to keep in mind that these women played a significant role in shaping the laws that govern social, political, economic, and military matters in Islamic societies. They were also heavily involved in the formation of the legal framework for those societies.
Not surprisingly, many believe Sheikha Moza to be nothing more than the glitzy face of Qatar's oppressive government. She is doing a good job of showing the West that Arab women are becoming more independent and involved in society. The Sheikh is one of a select few women who can exercise this kind of freedom, though. Other women in Qatar typically don a black abaya and are unable to display their tiny waists like she can because she is constantly traveling the world. In any case, Sheikha Moza has a significant impact on the nation despite being held captive by the patriarchal culture. Since 2013, Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, her second son, has served as the Emir of Qatar, and many people believe that is because of her manipulation. Sheikh Jassim, her first son, who was supposed to succeed her as Emir, instead chose his brother instead for unspecified reasons at the time. Rumor has it that Moza chose her second son to be Emir, so she could better control him. Initially, Sheikh Hamad's oldest child with his first wife, Sheikh Michelle, was slated to succeed him as Qatar's crown prince. He was overthrown, though, by Sheikha Moza's eldest son. It is not surprising that the First Lady, who has amassed significant power and appointed her middle son to the position of head of state, played a role in this. Moza is free to focus solely on her hobby of choice, fashion. Her distinctive fashion is also quite divisive. She is regarded as a remarkable fashion phenomenon by many international designers. According to British fashion designer Julian MacDonald, no First Lady has had such a strong global influence on fashion since Jackie Kennedy Onassis. One IBDL committee member called her the Babe Paley of the Middle East, and another described her unmatched style as her royal opulence meets Hitchcock heroine. Sheikha Moza is frequently counted among the most fashionable royalty and celebrities. Her distinctive sense of style, which fuses West,
En chic with oriental modesty is undeniable. Because no one would be able to understand her needs, the First Lady of Qatar claimed she doesn't have a stylist. "It's my treat for my mind," she continued. "When I'm worn out, I go to my dressing room, search through my closets, and attempt to mix and match things." Chanel, Dior, Armani, and Jean-Paul Gaultier are just a few of the well-known luxury labels that Sheikha Moza adores. She frequently finds inspiration for her outfits on the world's catwalks, and then orders similar garments with the request that they be made more closed, such as by adding long sleeves or concealing a plunging neckline. The outcome is quite unusual. Her outfits, however, are viewed by many as being overly expensive and pretentious. When more and more people around the world are working to protect the environment and care for animals, Sheikha Moza, for instance, still chooses to dress in fur coats and boots made of python. People have also noted that Sheikha Moza, 64, has an abnormally smooth face, which indicates that she likely has cosmetic surgery and plastic surgery. She is also criticized for appearing too unnatural. After all, a growing number of women worldwide prefer natural aging over ageism. As you can see, the Sheikha Moza figure is a contentious one. She is seen by some as a power-hungry con artist of frail men, while for others, she is simply the glamorous face of her oppressive government. For some, she is the de facto ruler of Qatar, while for others, she is merely a puppet in the hands of her husband, whom she is compelled to live with 2 other women. Others simply see her as a pretentious woman who doesn't know how to manage her money, while some see her as a phenomenon in the world of fashion. She just seems like a typical woman to me, with her own flaws and assets. For you, who is she? Thanks for watching. Remember to share your thoughts with me, click like, and subscribe. See you next time.